What's going on, guys? This is Dan Wynn,
And Mike Glaspie.
and welcome to the Military Cash Flow. Hey, so today's episode, we're going to be talking about the second stimulus check, round two, second stimulus check update, and how to maximize it, right?
And
So,
if you stick around towards the end, we're going to talk about the potential of a second quarantine that nobody wants, but it's possible.
yes. So you guys have all been on, if you're in the military, you know what it is. You know, this might be another round of us kind of staying home for a little while, but we'll get into that at the end. First, let's go ahead and get into the conversation of the updates with the stimulus check. So right now, as you know, that just to give you an outline of how it works, how that bill is actually passed. It first has to go through the House, right? It has to get passed by the House, and then it has to get passed by the Senate, and then the president actually signs the bill, and that's how any bill is actually passed, right? Um,
Yeah, and so really we look at the likelihood of, is this bill going to pass or not, right? And we're constantly getting updates saying that it's getting to certain stages and it's already passed through the House. But you have to realize that ultimately when you look for that universal agreement, there's three things that they really care about, right? First off, it has to have bipartisan support, which it does. Everybody wants the stimulus check to come in. Then, has this actually been done before and proven to be successful? Again, it has. We all received a stimulus check not too long ago. And then the third and final thing is it necessary? And there are many advocates to say right now this is extremely necessary because many people have lost their jobs, have been furloughed, and are in need of more additional income. So, three strikes, we are good to go. It is very likely that this is going to proceed. Now, as Dan has mentioned, it's already been through the House. It still has to go through the Senate, and then it still needs to be signed by the president, meaning we are still probably somewhere around 2 to 4 weeks away, and we're projecting that roughly to mid to late June, we should start seeing those checks roll in. The question is, once you get the check, what do you do with it?
yeah. So as you guys know, I mean, we are most of our guys listening here, we're all service members, right? And our checks don't really stop, and we're still going to get paid on the 1st and the 15th. So unless, for the most part, unless you have a spouse that has been affected by this pandemic and has been out of work or something like that, which dramatically changes your income, you're likely not affected by this pandemic as far as financially, right? Because you're still getting paid regardless if you're sitting home or what you're doing. You're continuing to get paid. So the $1,200 or whatever the next amount that gets put out in this second round, it's very likely that you might not even need, right? So what we want to talk about is what you can actually do with that money instead of buying the new PS whatever's coming out, the new game, or just blowing it on some rims or blowing it on something foolish that's not going to bring value to you in the long term, right? So what are some of those things? You got this $1,200 and you're like, we're just going to keep using the $1,200, assuming that it's going to be another $1,200 stimulus. We don't know 100% yet, but just assume it's another $1,200. So if you get $1,200 and you're trying to figure out, hey man, what do I need to do with this money? I don't want to put a down payment on a new charger. I don't want to, do anything foolish with it. Some of those things you can do is, one, if you listen to a lot of our past guests, $1,200 is a lot to start a passive income producing business, even whether it's in real estate or not in real estate. $1,200 is enough to buy enough gear to set up your YouTube channel, right? $1,200 is enough to start your wholesaling business, right? We had a couple wholesalers on in the past, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to buy the list, you can even hire some cold callers for that amount to get all that stuff situated. It doesn't cost that much money to start your wholesaling practice. It doesn't cost that much money to buy some REITs, right? We had Jordan Boley on, and he talked about how he buys REITs, right? So $1,200 is a decent amount of stocks and REITs that you can buy, and those are income producing assets. So rather than buying a liability, you can start buying some assets to add to your portfolio so that you're making military cash flow.
Amen. And guys, most importantly, if you need the money to be used towards rent, towards food, absolutely use the money towards that. Because here's the kicker, guys. The CARES Act, what came out before that gave everybody $1,200, is not necessarily guaranteed. The new act, the HEROES Act, it is an undetermined amount. So it may be as little as $500 or it may be as big as $2,000. But remember the bonus content, what happens if there's a second quarantine? Okay. Again, for all of our service members, really, it just means that you're going to be stuck in the house. You're getting paid to kind of relax. So if you do get that stimulus check, just as Dan said, use it wisely. But for others, that second quarantine is a possibility. Now, here's why. If you guys looked before at some of our other content, we talked about how the coronavirus is cyclical, just like the flu. The peak times are going to be in the spring and in the fall. During the summer, during the hot seasons, the active cases typically go down. Okay, well, here we are, guys. We're in the summer, so the active cases are going down. But realize that most of these, cities are now opening their doors again. People are starting to mingle again. So by mid-May, July, mid-July, late July, you can expect everything to be open again. And then all of a sudden, if the coronavirus cases start to increase once we hit September, October, and so forth, the government may have that knee-jerk reaction and put everyone back on quarantine. So when you get these stimulus checks, you guys have to be responsible with them one way or the other. Either you're going to use them for a necessity or use them to start an investment because it's going to be needed. Right? And this is our one chance to get essentially free income.
Yeah. So, just like we're saying, just don't spend the money on anything foolishly if you don't necessarily need to. That's our biggest push, man. We see too many service members out there that are spending the money foolishly. Either that, or we hear a lot of times, hey man, I don't have enough money to start this. I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have enough money to do that. As far as building a business, right? $1,200 is a nice chunk that you can put down towards a down payment for another rental property. You know what I mean? So these are things you can definitely do with it. Obviously, like Mike said, if you really do need the money, then definitely do so. The last thing I want to leave with you is I've heard a couple of stories of, well, really just one story in general, where someone lied. I guess some lady lied about having the COVID so she didn't have to go to work, right? And then the whole entire business shut down, obviously, because they're exposed to the COVID. And then they found out that the lady did not have COVID, right? So guess what happened? She got sued because the business took like 2 weeks worth of a loss, right? And had to pay employee salaries and so on and so forth. The lady got sued. So last note I'm gonna leave you with is, don't be like that lady. If you're gonna lie about trying to get out of work, if your spouse is gonna lie about getting out of work or something like that, don't say you have COVID if it's not true, So you don't want to get sued over something stupid. Just say you got a cold or something, man.
Seriously. Well, don't say cold now because they're gonna be like, oh, you might have Roundup. But yeah, just man up, woman up. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah,
yeah, if you guys, sorry, man. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say with that was it. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna do the same plug, guys. I need you guys, if you love this content, like, subscribe, 5 stars on the podcast, guys. Leave a review. YouTube, go ahead and hit the notification bell, guys. So when this content is coming out, leave a review. Was this useful, right? Subscribe and share the content so more people can know what's going on as it's happening. And as always, we have the Facebook group that is growing rapidly, guys. We have over 600 people now, military servicemen and women, who are just crushing it in real estate. Some of them getting started. Some of them are very well sophisticated in their niches. We have insurance provider, tax providers. We have all these other services that are available for you guys to go out there and reach out for content.
Yeah, and lastly, if you are a service member and you're about to PCS, if you're a service member and you're thinking about buying your next rental property and you need a realtor, link up with us, right? We offer a free service to you where we go out, we find realtors that we know in your local area, right? And we vet them. We make sure that they know all the investment terminology. We make sure that they know how to find a true rental property, one that's going to cash flow for you, right? And we also find a realtor that's obviously military friendly. So we offer this as a free service to you. We find them, we link you up with them, and we make sure that you're good to go and you're taken care of. There's a lot of realtors out there that really, believe it or not, have never invested in have never, bought their own rental property, have no idea about what ROI is, don't understand what cash flow is, just completely don't understand that. So we help as a free service to you to make sure that you're not getting a realtor that has no idea what they're talking about, right? So free service to you. Link up with us if that's if you meet that criteria, and we'll hook you up. And with that, this is Dan Wynn
And Mike Glassby.
signing off.